Welcome to the Gwenton Show. Today we're live, direct, and raw. And why are we raw? Because today we're going to be talking about a serious topic of safeguarding and what it means to different people in different levels. For me, safeguarding is always about making sure you're safe, the people you're working with safe, and the whole community as a whole. I understand that some of us in the community have never had any training or guidance in safeguarding. Some of us might pretend to be lawyers, doctors, therapists, and even bus drivers. But when the truth comes out, a lot of people are faking it till they're making it. And some of them might never make it. So let me give you some examples of what I mean by safeguarding.
Let me just take this call, people. It might be significant. All right, sis, we got you back. Yeah, I was saying, if you can just tell us, like, at what point the violence started and then lead us up to where we are now with the incident that has taken place.
If someone calls you and says to you, someone's pressured me to do something, what are the steps do you take? You first make sure wherever you're meeting that person is safe for you and that person to meet. The second thing you make sure is that you are not going to be compromised by keeping secrets, or you're not going to be exploiting someone for your own gain. And what do we mean by exploiting someone? Where you bring them on camera showing how you're helping someone, asking them for a donation as you're helping someone. That is exploiting the person, leaving them at more risk than they were before you met them. That is exploiting someone. Not contacting the local authority and informing the local authority of the risk to said individuals and just going about your business once you have took everything out of that person that you needed. You might be wondering, Gwenton, what are you talking about? We're going to talk about things like this. You help someone that is in need of food, or they might be homeless, and then you photograph the person without covering their face. Somebody comes to you and tell you that they've been raped or attacked. What do? You call the police. You make sure that person is safe. If they've been attacked, you call the DV Marek. They will then take over the case from you because you are not trained as a specialist in that area. A lot of people in the community have got the best will in the world, lovely hearts, and they want to help, but they don't know how to be safe. And we continue to see things on social media where victims are being exploited because people want to get cash apps, PayPals, and donations. That's not putting the victim first. Have you made sure that they're safe? Are they able to return to the property after your interview? Is the perpetrator now aware of what the victim said? And these are the dangerous practices that we're talking about. And if somebody's connected to the perpetrator, such as their family, their children, you don't go posting their address online to get them killed. And I'm going to repeat that. You do not become a vigilante and start posting people's addresses online. You don't know who's in that house. They could have a grandma in the house that's not aware of what has happened. And then someone goes and they burn the house down. Someone's grandma's now been murdered because you wanted to be a vigilante. I understand sometimes when we're in a group and we're on social media and we think we've got a movement and we think we're doing the right thing. Sometimes we need to stop and slow down and check with the authorities that we are also not breaking the law. We are also not putting other people at risk. And we are also not liable for defamation of character and also an arrest.
We're going to have a sister coming on who is going to tell her story about this individual. His name is O'Keefe Owens. Let me just see if I can get the mugshot. Where are you? His name is O'Keefe Owens. All right. And he is an individual that has been accused and charged, might I add, with a GBH on his partner. Quite nasty.
So let's think about this as a scenario, for example, because I've seen this happening week after week, where people are being exploited by individuals that self-appointed themselves as community leaders.
I only became aware in the last hour or so that this individual is actually connected by way of someone else, which we're going to get into later on. But he's connected to my ex-husband, Viv Amun. Well. Isn't that interesting? His time is up, family, if you cast your minds back long enough to when I told my story. But anyway, we'll get into the meat and potatoes of that.
A lot of people on social media have come online to recreate themselves because they want to cover up their dirty past. A lot of them have got dark secrets in closets, but they're using social media to become famous and rich and pay their rent. So someone comes to you as a victim of an assault, let's say. What's the correct procedure? The first thing you ask, are you safe in your property? Are your children safe in your property? Does the perpetrator know where you live? What are the next steps you take? Have you called the police? What have the police done about it? If the police have arrested and charged and there's court proceedings, there's nothing else for you to do but to support that person in private. You don't then bring the person online, exposing their identity, and then inviting the perpetrator. Yes, I said it, people. Inviting the perpetrator online with the victim. Could you believe that?
Because the way how she said all these things, yeah, they want to see if I'm gonna fuck with her again.
Right.
No matter.
So you have you been charged with anything?
Miss, this girl go to them and told them that try chop off her head. Madam, I wouldn't chop off a woman's head.
This is as dangerous as it gets. So now the perpetrator knows the victim's talking about them. The perpetrator gets more angry and more dangerous, and you turn your camera off and go to bed. This person's now at more risk. You've now aggravated the perpetrator, and you've also breached the court order, because it says in the while that the court proceedings are going on, you are not allowed to contact directly or indirectly, and we're talking about social media or other forms, or ringing your friend to call somebody to pass a message. You are not allowed to do that. Let the police and the courts do their job. What are you doing extra by inviting a victim online? Exploitation. It's as simple as that. Because you've left them at more risk after the live than before the live.
Yes, blessed love family, it's that time of the week again. Blessed love, how are you? I hope everybody's had a really amazing week. It's been a very positive week from our end. There's loads going on in the background which you're going to hear about moving forward. You know, there's lots of really positive advancements, let's just call it that, shall we, that you guys are going to hear about going forward. I hope everybody's well. Blessed love, all of the mods. You done know, Rima Truth, all about the black, Paula, Lioness Keeks, everybody's in the room. Not sure if Sister Shani's here. I know she's probably playing out tonight. It's so good to be back again here on a Friday. Do you know what was great about taking a break though is the fact that you come back fresh, you know? But there's been lots going on in the space this week. I'm not really going to go into like, you know, I was jumping on some lives and stuff like that. We know that Mega had a live and there was a huge discussion in the space over the last week and whatever. And there are some, there are aspects of that we can talk about. And there's been other stuff going on as well. Do you guys remember that song? Some gal are hyper for me, I mean, and them not ready yet. Me say them are hyper for me and them not ready yet. Yeah, I think that's how the lyric goes anyway. My DJing days are a bit rusty. Yeah, man, enough gal are hyper for me and them not ready yet. That's what's going on, my brothers and sisters. But less said about that, because it really is very inconsequential. We always get the passer on the Instagram. That's where the dross is at the end of the day. But tonight we're going to feature a brother. He's been up on the gram. Not that well known because, contrary to popular belief, we don't just feature well-known people like Dylan Duffus and whoever else. That's not the way it goes here. It's the stories that we get from women that we investigate, and those are the stories that we have. So this person, incidentally, it's an interesting story because it's been sort of unfolding as we go along, and this week it's kind of escalated in terms of unfolding. But I only became aware in the last hour or so that this individual is actually connected by way of someone else, which we're going to get into later on. But he's connected to my ex-husband, Viv Amun. Well. Isn't that interesting? His time is up, family, if you cast your minds back long enough to when I told my story. But anyway, we'll get into the meat and potatoes of that. We're going to have a sister coming on who is going to tell her story about this individual. His name is O'Keefe Owens. Let me just see if I can get the mugshot. Where are you? His name is O'Keefe Owens. All right. And he is an individual that has been accused and charged, might I add, with a GBH on his partner. Quite nasty. But let me let the sister tell her story, and then we're going to chop it up. That's what we're going to do. Blessed love, my sis. You're on mute, sis. Let me unmute you. Actually, you have to unmute at this stage. Can you unmute for me, sis? Hello? Sister? I don't think she realizes she's on yet. She's been in the backstage for quite a bit. She probably doesn't realize she's on. Sis, can you hear us?
So
you're there. Blessed love, my sister. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, sis? It's always a technical. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, brilliant. We're coming through loud and clear now. We're coming through loud and clear now, my sister. Blessed love, sis. Welcome to His Time Is Up.
Thank you.
So I've just shown the picture. I'll show it again. It's O'Keefe Owens is your ex, isn't it?
Yes, he is.
Can you just take the listeners, the viewers through how it is that you met this individual? Just give us a little bit of background, at your will, whatever you feel comfortable to talk about. But don't go into too much detail that might jeopardize the case, because there is a case, isn't there, sis, upcoming?
Yes, definitely. He's got a lot of charges.
Right.
Multiple.
Okay, so just give us a bit of background. Tell us how, you guys got into being in the same orbit. I'm going to turn my camera off for a hot minute, but I'm here with you. I can hear you. Okay?
This is as dangerous as it gets. So now the perpetrator knows the victim's talking about them. The perpetrator gets more angry and more dangerous, and you turn your camera off and go to bed. Perhaps there's a big agenda at question here.
I met O'Keefe when I was working, and initially he took my number because of networking, because he claimed that he had a herbal drinks business, and I said that I can do delivery because he said that he was looking for delivery drivers. So that's how we linked up initially, and then it turned into a romantic relationship after some months. But I wasn't sure about him because I had not had a relationship for a long time. after I had my baby. And he kind of, swept me off my feet and told me everything I wanted to hear or needed to hear. I was vulnerable at the time. My child was young. And, he infiltrated me and my
Mhm.
family. And I thought he was a good person. But soon enough, I think the first time that he hit me, and it was in front of the kids, it was last year, October.
Mhm.
And, you know, I still was in a very vulnerable stage in my life where I couldn't let him go, and it was trauma bonding. So it's like I kind of was an enabler, and then I kept quiet about the abuse. I didn't tell my family, I didn't really tell my friends. I just said, oh, we're having arguments and stuff, but I never told them about the fact that he was physically abusing me, and it was mental abuse as well, because the stuff that he says, the death threats, all of that, he's a very dangerous individual, because later on down the line
Right.
in the relationship, he told me that he broke his baby mother's hand.
Mm.
So it was just all red flags. But when you really love the person and you think you can change them, and
Mhm.
mixed with vulnerability, that's what kept me and him together. But he he physically abused me so much that I just kind of got desensitized to it, and I
Mm.
stayed with him because it was just I didn't know nobody else after the kids, and he
Mhm.
took them all on, and he just had me wrapped around his finger. And he was unemployed, he still is, and he goes for women that are established, that have careers, that
Mhm.
are educated, that have their own
Mhm.
houses and cars, so he can just use them, because he don't drive, he doesn't work, he just goes from odd job to odd job. And he was working for me at a point, but everything he ever done for me was for money. Painting my house, him doing my tiling, I paid him. And you shouldn't pay your man to do nothing.
No,
But it's because he was
certainly
Brock.
not.
It's because he was Brock, and he's a user, he's a womanizer. He was, he was cheating on top of physically abusing me. He was he was sleeping with older women, white women, get love scamming. I found his bank statements when I was cleaning up his house, and all white women, little.
You're breaking up, sis.
It was just shocking. And when everything came up, we always had a physical fight about his cheating and stuff like that. It's not that I knew that he was actually physically sleeping
But
with
sis,
anyone.
there's a reason that that is particularly significant, because cheating on its own is not really viewed by anyone as any sort of crime, unless it is that you're in a particular religion, right?
And on top of that, to invite people like me to break the law and overstep the mark and intervene with court proceedings is outrageous. But again, not everybody follows the same code of conduct and practices. People pretend to be legal Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Then when they get on social media, their ethical practices, because we're seeing therapists here pretending that they're ethically trained by the BACP, but when they get online at night, they become vigilantes and putting people at risk. I will never take part in such activities, and I will continue to persuade and encourage and empower people to report it to the police and go through the right channels, because that's what I believe.
Sis, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Have I gone quiet or something?
One by one, each individual that is got a profile within the community is being targeted. There must be an agenda here. Sometimes people apologize for wrongly accusing people, but they still go ahead and accuse people, knowing that by posting people online, the only thing you're doing is causing more risk, more alarm, more panic, more families in danger. What is the agenda? I wonder.
So this is him here. He says, "Look, sister, you have something all wrong. I am telling you, before the women in my family, I hope I've got this in the right order. Before the women in my family see you, Yes, we know you. I did support you, but running with one side thing and putting me pick up with MT name, I think that's supposed to be my name. Thanks. But people want problem. Okay, here it is to them. It and you as well. Me plus family out looking for you, just to let you know. If not, when we meet, just know that they are not going to talk. Just takes this opportunity anyway. You want okay here. I think he could be dyslexic because it's really hard to understand. But hold on, where's the rest of it? And then he goes on to say, and Friday, that the only thing I asked, there is two sides, everything. I have had advice. Okay, so this is not the one I wanted. Okay, it's all in crazy orders at the moment, people. Let's see this. So he says something about in my number, if you want to hear the next side, he leaves his number. It's up to you. So I called him at that point. I didn't call him on the number, called him there. Or he called me actually. Yeah, he called me and then I called the number. Death Before Dishonor, she have in the dark, and thanks you lots very much as well. Laugh out loud.
So illiterate.
Mm-hmm.
So illiterate. You can just
So then he
tell.
goes on to say, I have had advice not to engage. I will reach out to Viv Amun for more advice. Thank you very much. And I say, Viv Amun, who your cousin Gwenton engages.
Oh, it's my turn now. Thank you very much. You're welcome. I never thought I would be caught in this.
I've already featured him on my live. Good luck with that. Now, my sister, hey, I had no idea at this point until then. And then we had a conversation, didn't we? That this
Yeah.
individual, Gwenton,
Yeah.
can't remember his surname. Is it Slowly?
I don't even know. I just
think
know him as
I'm
Gwenton
trying to
because
remember this hombre's name.
all Akiv used to do is call out Gwenton's name and say, "Oh, I'm going
Right.
up."
Well, I'm aware of this individual, and I know that he engages with my ex, with the father of
Mhm.
my two middle children. We've
Okay.
spoken about him on here, so everybody knows who we're talking about.
Now I'm being blamed for acting too professional.
Gwenton, I had no chuck with you before now. I've never really rated you, to be fair, but I had no chuck with you. Yeah. But I don't really like the way you're moving. Why are you sussing and trying to get this guy to think that he can call out Viv Amun's name? Don't bring Viv in no mix-up, Gwenton.
Always conduct yourself and follow due procedure and due process. Never allow social media to make you excitable where you put lives in danger.
Let me tell you that, because Viv ain't in no kind of mix-up with anybody. That's for starters. But let's have a look at let's have a little look, because you did tell Gwenton, didn't you, as his cousin? Is Gwenton his older cousin or his
I think he might be a tiny bit older, or maybe the same age, because they're
he
both
seems somebody that
25.
you
I
guys
don't
look up to? Seems to be that, doesn't
know.
it?
I think maybe Akiva or Eamon looks up to him because Gwenton has, his thing going on. He drives and Eamon don't do nothing, so he must do.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
So you actually DM'd him and you told him about what happened, and I was actually appalled. And I saw this message before.
Let me run you through a case study. Two 16-year-old boys attacked another 16-year-old boy. The video goes viral. We then see community activists or vigilantes, whatever the difference is, then pick up the video and start posting the video online. To them, they were doing justice. Find these young people now. What is the dangers of doing that? These are 16-year-old young boys. By doing that, they posted the young boy's address online. Not gonna give out the details, but me and my team went in that night and we moved the family out 4 in the morning. 2 days after, that property was burnt down to the ground. It was a one way in, one way out. Imagine that family was still in that property, they would have all died. To those people in the community that done that, they thought it was okay to post the address of 16-year-olds online. We need to understand that we might not see the after effects of what we're doing online. I'll give you a second case study. A lady that came crying for help. Her partner had cheated on her. The people online persuaded her to say that she had been raped and other things like that. They then posted the partner's address online. This man was attacked in the streets of South London. His family were verbally attacked. His children were also attacked because their father was online. And later, when the police got involved, the young lady confessed and said she was coached to say these things by people online. We now need to understand the damage has already been done. Even though that person did not die, he could have. We need to report to the police and allow the court system to do its job. Jungle justice, vigilante work only puts people's lives at risk and endangers victims.
This man's feisty little comment and trying to intimidate me with Mr. Vivamun. Do you know what I mean? I was thinking, Gwenton, but I wasn't really chucking with it. Now, you say to him, unfortunately, I have to tell you that Akiv is not doing well. Akiv is Amun, isn't it?
Kill the whole house. Who cares? Kill the children, kill the grandma, kill the cats, kill everyone. Here's their address. Do as you please.
Yeah, amen. Yeah.
Amen. Sorry, Amen.
Mhm.
But Amen is his Hebrew Israelite name. His real name is O'Keefe Owens.
You know what? I know you've been wondering what I've been talking about. Let's have a look at this video and then you decide if I'm wrong. Remember, my case is there's a live court case going on. The police are already involved. There's already been a charge. What more are you meant to do? Now you have a view and tell me if this was about the victim or about the host who wants to be famous. Look at the bottom of the screen. Go fund me. Don't be fooled.
Put up a one if you guys can hear me. Are you okay, sis? My sister. You guys can hear me. Sis, are you okay? You've gone completely quiet. Let me just give Krista a call on the line. Not sure what's happened there. Hello? That is weird. Sis, let me just give Sister a call. All right, yeah, I got worried like you guys actually. Sis is all right. She's just got a really bad internet connection right now, and she's trying to come back in as we speak. Yeah, I don't know what it is lately actually, but there's been a lot of interference with internet. Certainly where I live, there's been a lot going on. No, she's not crying. She's a very strong sister. You know, I think she's cried a million tears over this, bro. Okay, she's back. Brilliant, sis.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
there?
sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, the
lovely. We're gonna
Wi-Fi
have
is
to work with
terrible.
it. Yeah, we're gonna have to work with it tonight, aren't we? All right, so
Yeah.
continue, sis.
So, yeah, but you were saying something about cheating and it tying up.
I was
So I was,
saying that you know, we've become so degenerate within our own culture that cheating isn't seen as anything. But it is
yeah.
significant if you belong to a particular religion like Islam or whatever. So it's very
Mm.
significant for you guys, isn't it, if he cheats? Because tell us the reason.
Well, it's the thing is that I don't really have a kind of like a comment about the cheating. It's
No,
it's
sis,
just
I'm talking about the lifestyle. He belongs to a particular religion, doesn't he? So
oh
cheating
yes,
is
he's
out of the
Jewish.
question.
He's
That's
Jewish.
the point.
Yeah, he's Jewish. He's
Hebrew. Yeah.
he's Hebrew. He did say that he was a priest in Jamaica, but I really
Mhm.
doubt that because even with fornication, he's got a very twisted view on fornicating. He said that, oh, if you're my woman, then there's no problem because I've got intentions to marry. Intentions doesn't mean you are married. It's still wrong if you're religious. Do you know what I mean? Because some
Mhm.
people aren't. But what I said to him was that you can't just claim to be a priest and claim to be all holier than thou and you're smoking how much weed, you're doing all this kind of stuff, and then you're standing up there persecuting.
Mhm.
It's just I think that he likes to play the mental health card because he was in the army, and he say, oh, I've got PTSD, or oh, I need help, and try and act like he's the victim. But if you don't sort
Mhm.
yourself out, you can't project your the violence on everybody else. You're not going to get anywhere.
Mm. He's
You're just
originally
going to put
born in
yourself.
Jamaica, isn't he? And so when you say Jewish, I think people are kind of imagining we're talking about Orthodox Jews or something like that. We are talking about Black Hebrew Israelites who reclaim, you know, and I don't necessarily disagree with the Hebrew Israelite
Yeah.
doctrine, but what I have seen a lot from that sector, and particularly when I lived in Tanzania, because there was a lot of African American Black Hebrew Israelites coming over when we were there during COVID, and you know they came with polygamous families and whatever, which is fine in Tanzania. It's perfectly legal, and a lot of people have polygamous families. But
Yeah.
I saw a lot of brothers from the West who, in my opinion, were kind of cloaking behind the Hebrew Israelite thing to get away with their usual nastiness that they probably did when they were on road in America or wherever else. We had a couple of
Mm.
English like that too. And so I'm not convinced with some of these Hebrew Israelite brothers. I think they're bringing the whole thing into disrepute. And I just want to make it really clear where I stand in terms of that doctrine, because there's a lot of it that I hold with. You understand? And I know that that can only be a good thing, but you got brothers like this that are using it to justify having illicit affairs with loads of different women, and generally to just put themselves around in the same way they did when they weren't in the religion. Would that be
Yeah.
an accurate assessment, my sister?
Oh, definitely. But he says, "Oh no, I don't believe in having a second wife." He says all of that, but he was having sex with so many women I couldn't even count when I
Mm.
found out, and they were all white. He was stealing
Which
their
is totally
money.
against those teachings, right? That's about
Yeah,
bloodline. Mhm.
definitely. And everything. Whenever we'd get into an argument, he's calling me bent blood. Every single baby mother he has is either white or mixed race. But he would persecute everybody, and he's a black guy going for these mixed women, and
Mhm.
I don't really understand because he's just a big hypocrite. Everything that he says, it
So
just
that's what we've
contradicts.
established in that regard, that you know that he's a hypocrite. So
He's
tell
a
us a
hypocrite.
little bit more, sis, about how the relationship developed.
So he was just very intense. He was love bombing me, and the thing is that this is where he got me because I was vulnerable and I needed support. It wasn't financial because I've got myself. It was emotional. It was where I was feeling low and he was there for me. I was there for him. But it was very toxic because he's very paranoid. And even if I wanted to leave, when I tried to leave, he would cuss me out and say I'm cheating on him with 5 men, like as if to say I've got the time for that. I've got a family to look after and I'm with him. So he who thinketh doeth, he was doing all of that and he was just trying to control me. And that is really what it was.
Yeah.
That
It's
that's
usually about control, isn't it?
that is all he was doing. He was just trying to control my life and just
Mm,
abuse me. But it's like he was so angry and upset with the fact that his life isn't, great. And if you look at the bare facts of it, he's unemployed. He's not doing good for himself. He's abusive. He don't like himself because he don't like the way that he is, but he can't help it, and he doesn't want to get help. He's smoking so much weed. He's mad in himself, and he's
right.
trying to drag women down with him.
Hmm. And do you think there's a kind of a jealousy or a resentment because of
Oh,
your
100%. He told me that he was jealous of me, that even for the fact that my family love me, because it is
Well,
him. He's got mother issues.
they talk about daddy issues, but there's a lot of mummy issues going on out here with the
He's
brothers.
got
I've
mother issues. He does not
Yeah.
trust women. He has been cheated on, and he's told me these stories. And I never bring my past relationship, troubles into what I've got going on with someone, because I'm not going to tar everyone with the same brush. But he
Mm.
used to do it to me. Apparently, when he went on tour, when he was in the army, he moved a girl in, and when he came back early, he caught her in bed in his house with another man. Well,
This
that's
is
not
when he
me.
was in the
There's
army.
nothing I can do about that. Yeah, yeah. And it's like those kind of things really stick to him and it really cuts him deep. But that is not my problem. I can't do nothing about that. I'm not her. If you really hate women that much, don't be with any of us. You don't have to
Mm.
abuse us because you've been hurt. You need to go to therapy, go to counseling, and utilize what the military is giving you, to try and get you mentally well. Because you're never
Mm.
going to be the same, but at least don't put your hands on people. And this is the problem with him, because Akeem thinks that he can hit women under quiet and then say, "Oh, I love you," and then he's a predator as well, because he could beat you up and then sleep with you 2 minutes later. It's disgusting.
But that's classic, isn't it? It's classic perpetrator behavior, the control, the love bombing, the gaslighting, the
Yep.
resentment
And
because you're doing better than them.
and
It's
then
just
he'll act like he never done nothing, because he does not admit verbally that he put his hands on me, and it's happened so many times. But I've got messages where he's apologizing, even making stuff to make my eye go down,
Mhm.
and say, "Oh, babes, I'm sorry." He's broken so much jewelry of mine because we've been having these fights, and he is 6'5". He can
Oh,
overpower
is
me.
he
He
that
could dead
tall?
me. He could dead me in what's a split second. And this guy has so much strength for women, it's unbelievable.
Hmm. So tell us a little bit, sis, about the violence. How and when did that start?
It started because of his paranoia. He just thinks everybody's cheating. I'm a liar for everything. If I don't pick up my phone quick enough,
Mm.
if if I don't want to be with him, if we have an argument and I say, "Look, this is toxic. I think that you need to leave." We get into an argument. Who you giving attitude to? Next minute, you're trying to box me in my face. Next minute, you're picking up a weapon. There's been times when he's gotten extension leads. He's trying to strangle me with it. He said, "Becky, do you want me to show you how I could dead you and get away with it?"
Hmm.
The man is mad. He's mad.
You know, bro, sister, I've actually been through those things myself with who us on this platform. We know him as Whatley's baby father.
Mhm.
He blocked his daughter on WhatsApp, our daughter, on WhatsApp 3 years ago, and hasn't looked back since, amongst other things. But yeah, I've been through that, my sister. I know exactly what that feels like. You know,
Yep.
you're treated as if you're his unruly child that's being ranked with him. and that
Imagine.
you're due a box in the mouth anytime that you want to
Ex-
speak up for yourself.
Exactly. And I wouldn't mind, but the
Absolutely.
man ain't got nothing. He has nothing. So that's
Yeah,
all he has.
yeah.
All he has is strength for women. He ain't got nothing in his bank account. He's in rent arrears. He's just upset. And he strategically goes for women that actually have money. And then he'll turn around and say, "You never done anything for me. I'm not your mother. And even if I was,
Exactly.
you're 35. Get a
Mhm.
job and stand on your own 2 feet. You're living in a studio flat. You got 9 pick me. Now it's 10. It's like the baby come and fall out of the sky from nowhere. Because the
And
last time
you guys have a child together, don't you?
no, we don't have any children together.
Oh,
Thank
that's right.
God
Yes.
we do
Yes,
not.
yes,
Because
yes.
every single woman that's got a child with him, he stalks and he bothers them and he controls them and he tries to put his input in. But he is a toxic dad. He's a terrible parent. Terrible.
That is so true, Miss Barnsley. It's certainly in my experience with what this baby father, it's always the bruck pocket man then that go answer. It's so true, Miss Barnsley. That's what I said in my experience. You know that my other exes that had money and whatever, they didn't want to abuse anyone. I think they were just quite comfortable in their own skin. You know. So yeah, tell us a little bit more, sis, about the incident that's led up to where we are now, I think. Or, share a little bit of the background, where it started as well, the violence, because obviously it didn't start straight away. It never does it? Oh, not the internet again. It's one of them nights, people. One of them nights. It's one of them nights. Yeah, we got to start teaching our young daughters to start looking for red flags. We need a whole program called Red Flags, Try get back on for us, sis. I don't know who this is. She's come off again. She'll come back in a second. Looks like she's got connectivity problems all over again. Who's this? Let me just take this call, people. It might be significant. All right, sis, we got you back. Yeah, I was saying, if you can just tell us, like, at what point the violence started and then lead us up to where we are now with the incident that has taken place.
So we was together for a year. We met in July, August, started being together, I think September. And the violence started practically, the month after. So October, the end of October was the first time he put his hands on me. He come from a party and he was a bit tipsy. And yeah, we got into an argument over nothing. It was actually no, there was a condom in his pocket. And that's when he decided to get on top of me and strangle me in front of my kids.
Wow.
Yeah. And the kids were saying, stop, stop. And I told them to just shut the door. That's the only thing that I could tell them to do. Do you know what I mean? I didn't want them seeing it. And then, yeah, he punched me in my face and he's got big, big rings. So he split my lip open. I couldn't even go to do the school run for like a week or two. He had to take the kids to school.
Wow. And we can't actually, we're not showing the injuries to your face tonight because obviously you don't want your face shown. So we're not able to really show those injuries tonight. But I've seen them and they're not nice. Or I've seen your latest injuries, should I say. You're talking about something more historical, aren't you?
Yeah, this is the first time that he put his hands on me and it was very bad.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been so many occasions. I think he's hit me about 10 times in the space of a year. And that is just ridiculous.
Wow.
He's literally taking out whatever he's got going on me. And I was the wifey, but he was literally having so many girls on the go, sleeping with them unprotected, busting inside these white women and telling them that he loves them, that he's going to give them ring. And I've seen these messages. It's not like as if to say I never saw it. And he was still telling me barefaced, swearing on the Torah that he weren't doing anything with anyone.
That is very much sacrilegious. I know that.
He is such a blasphemous demon. And he used to call all me and all these women demons. But who's the real demon when I could never swear on the Bible and lie? I can't do that. And in all he talks about is religion, but he swore on the Torah. And then when I found out everything, he said, no, I was talking to the sister and she's mixed race. Why are you telling me about mixed race, this, that, pink, purple, blue? You were cheating, unprotected. You could give me HIV.
There's
And
something that you sent me. I don't think I uploaded it. I might try and play it actually a little bit later on. But there's something that you sent me that where he was kind of cursing out African women. But we'll get to that in a
yes,
second, sis.
yes,
We'll get
he
to that in a
hates
second.
Africans.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. One of them is he. So these, obviously there were beatings prior to
Yes.
where we are now. Tell us what led up to where we are now. We'll look at that in a second.
Well, it just got to the point where it just got too much. And I thought to myself, how am I supposed to allow a man to go around doing this? And I could dead from this. And if I let this carry on, then someone else could dead from this. And I said, you know what, I have to put a stop to this because this man is literally out here manipulating and abusing. And sometimes you need to just stop protecting these men. And you need to get the book thrown at them, even if you don't want to do it, because they are scumbags. I didn't do nothing to deserve this. I never cheated on this dirty boy. I didn't do nothing to him. I let you into my home and with my kids, and you just come and just mash up everything. Yeah, that's what it is.
Sis, I'm gonna play because we do give them the right to reply, and the young man was extremely eager to reply. He had following the post, he had DM'd me, which I'll show you his DMs in a second. I will show them in a second actually, because there was an interesting one that came in just before the live from him. But yeah, he DM'd me and I got back to him. We jumped on a call, and I'd like you to listen to that call because it was recorded. You guys tell me what you think, because for what you're describing, the young man that I spoke to on the phone sounded like a very polite, very exemplary young man. He was very nice.
Yeah, he does that.
Yeah. Let's hear it. Right, let's just find that. Proper one if you guys can hear that good. Hello, could I speak with Amen, please?
Yes, Miss Speaking.
Oh, hi, it's Afua Rose calling.
Okay, Miss, thank you very much.
Oh, hi there. I apologise for not getting back sooner, but I do get like hundreds of messages and it takes time to wade through them all, And I've been working as well, so I apologise.
Don't like and subscribe to me, subscribe to her. And make sure you click her GoFund at the bottom because she clearly needs it. And I'm going to walk out from this nonsense. Take care, people.